Hi everyone, this is Selvi. Today's interview question is, what is Sprint Zero? Okay, so uh, this is a very interesting question because uh, we don't have any uh, place in the Scrum guide or any other uh, reference in the Agile methodology which talks about Sprint Zero, but in practical scenario we use Sprint Zero. Not mandatory, but in many places we are using. So we try to understand what happens in the sprint zero. So as we all know, every sprint has an associated sprint goal, and we will be preparing the sprint backlog on the day of the sprint planning, and we will be executing the sprint and achieve the sprint goal at the end of the sprint. So this sprint zero happens only once, which means consider there are projects which are well defined and there are it is already in execution and the product is aware to the team and we have a settled team and we are fine with the process. We don't have any kind of infrastructure issues because we are already working on the project for a long time. In those cases sprint zero is not required. Sprint zero is required in the places where we are initiating, where we are taking the first step. When I say first step, let's consider in ideation process when an idea gets converted into a new product development. We need to prepare the product backlog, we need to set up the infrastructure, we need to set the work level agreements, we need to understand the ways of working, we need to define the meeting rhythm, we need to define all the agile process that is required for the team, and team will be in the learning phase and team will be understanding the product roadmap, and team will be preparing their trainings to be attended. So all those things will be happening at the very first time, and it happens only once, because after that we will be having a very free flow with the plan of whatever the topics we have to be executed. But very first time we don't have the infrastructure ready, we don't have anything, the development setup is not there to start the execution, and product backlog is also not yet available. At least we should have product backlog work items that are refined and ready for next two sprints. That's the way we should be starting, but we don't have those many things. For all these things to be taken care, what is the period called as? That period is called as preparation sprint or planning sprint or sprint zero. So if we are already with the rhythm of sprint execution, and if we are already executing sprints, and we are a well established team, then there is no need of sprint zero. Whereas in places where we need to initiate, we need to fix certain things and we need to make ourselves ready, we need to create a platform for all of us to work. We need to set the place where we have everything ready and we should be able to start our sprint execution to start delivering our functionalities. So that is the time we call that as that particular phase as sprint zero. So it is not something that we can define as part of every team should have this, or every project should have this. There is no such mandatory thing. This is something that we have customized it because somewhere we need to start. Even though we are not ready, we should call that phase as something and we need to start. As we are preparing ourselves to the process and we are preparing ourselves to the sprint execution, we call that as a preparation sprint or the planning sprint or sprint zero. Okay, so this is all about sprint zero, and I hope this would have answered the question and clarified the details about sprint zero to everyone. Happy learning, and thank you so much for listening. Stay tuned.